Hello, everybody, and welcome to this is Commander Fu, and welcome to another episode of Battle Warship Naval Empire Training Academy. Today, I would like to discuss a little bit of what I've been getting a lot of questions about in regards to the aircraft factory and the equipment and how to transition equipment to the different colors. There's going to be quite a bit in this video. Also, just a little disclaimer. I am not going to give away all the secrets. I do not want this to become something that gets used against a lot of those smaller players. I want to make sure we try and keep this game even and give as much advantage to free players as well as those who are buying up everything they can. So, to get started, let's go into the aircraft factory. There are some things that you need to understand. I've gotten a question about the purple bars or purple buttons at the top and how they play out and what they really mean to you. So you can divide out and use this as a search to figure out what aircraft you have. 6-star, apparently I don't have any 6 stars yet in this one. So when we go to 5 stars, it will search just the 5 stars. Now, the thing is, with the search, they're cumulative. So say I want to find a 5-star that has back row added buffs for my warships. So I would select the one with the back row. If you look closely, you can see there's 3 ships across, so front row, back row, and then you have the aircraft buff to the added buff to the aircraft. So when I search this one for back row, I come up with these 4 being the only 5-star aircraft that I have that provide a buff to the back row. Now let's look at the back row. Look at the actual aircraft. So as I examine here, what we're really looking at here. There's numbers for the level, the range, the attack, and the number of aircraft that it sends out at a time. That's somewhat important, but not the most important part of this screen. At the bottom, you see this plane, this Thunderbolt 2, has 4 attacks and 3 power-ups. So what this is saying is you're going to get an attack on the back row of your enemy's carrier or enemy's fleet, the middle ship in the front row, and then your green skills that it's going to give power up buffs to your back row of ships. What you're going to get actually is for barrier. And this is some important stuff to look at here when you're evaluating a new aircraft as to whether or not. So you've got the effect of barrier, and it tells you what the effect is. During aerial combat, warships have a chance to get a shield and dodge for every round. 1 attack per turn. Okay, so the trigger rate is important. This is how much of the time you're going to actually get that skill on your back row of the fleet. So 25% of the time for this aircraft right now, you're going to get a barrier. Then when we look at Hawkeye, your effect is during aerial combat, there's a chance to increase warship accuracy by 75%, which that's fairly significant. And it's not the best, but it's not bad. But that's only going to happen 50% of the time. And then your duration of effect is 1 round. So you can take and look at what you're actually trying to do with the aircraft and match this to what you're trying to do with your carrier and your submarines and the effects that those give you. So there's a fair bit that you can assess from your aircraft. So let's look at, for instance, on the examine for the F-22 Raptor. So with it, you get attacks on the front row of your enemy, the middle ship on the back row, and then you get back row buffs for yours. So the red goes with the red. So the biochemical missile is going to hit, and you're going to get attack damage at times 8%, and your trigger rate is 25%. Trigger rate is the frequency with which this is going to actually happen when you hit. So roughly 1 in 4 times you're going to actually get this effect on your on the affected warships and or airplanes. All right, so let's back out of this. And what you can do is, we'll say you're looking at an aircraft, go into the workshop, and you're trying to figure out, well, what do I want? What do I need to do? So you're looking at an aircraft. How good is this thing? Well, let's preview the attributes. They give you this nice little thing where you can actually set up the preview for when you level this thing up. So if you look, most of the bottom row here, when your aircraft reaches gold quality, that effect will be unlocked. So in order to get all 3 effects, you need to open up to gold. Okay, so for this one, Hawkeye, when it reaches blue quality is the middle, and then this is what you get normally when you just purchase the thing. All right, so let's take a look at a blue or a gold, and let's just say, for instance, 60. All right, so with this, we're going to get at level 60. I mean, we can actually be a little more realistic. I mean, we'll say 51. All right, so at 51, you're going to get a 33% trigger rate, where you're going to the target's final attack will be reduced by 33%, but that'll also take effect for 2 rounds. All right, so Hawkeye, you're going to get they're going to increase your warship accuracy by 70%, 32% of the time, and it lasts for 2 rounds. And then for stimulant, which is only one warship, you're going to increase the final attack by 60%, maybe a third of the time. Okay, so I don't know if this is necessarily an aircraft that you would want to look into. And then, so we've got other aircraft. Ooh, I'm in the wrong server for this. But when you're looking at different aircraft, you can find, that's not going to give us. So when you're looking at different aircraft as something to get, you can use a lot of that information to say, okay, this is what I'm actually trying to do. And when you're setting everything up, you're trying to match up your aircraft, the buffs and the qualities of the aircraft, to the buffs and the qualities of what the aircraft carrier can do, to also match up the submarines so that it all works as an integral system. So that's just what we've got for the aircraft, and I will do another video to do a little more on the carriers. I hope everybody is having a good time with the game and enjoying and doing well in your growth. If you like the video series, please press the like button and the subscribe button, and it keeps me going. Also, hit notifications if you could, so that you know when I'm posting new videos. And I hope everybody has a great day in the game, and we'll see you next time.